Good morning student, and today we will discuss about the same chapter solution. And in last video we have completed the units, or you can say the method to express the concentrations of a solution, means the amount of solute present in the given solution, and like the molarity, mole fractions and the molarity, ppm, etc. Today we will discuss about the some questions as well as the solubility of the solid and gas into the liquid and the factor affecting the nature of solute, solvent, temperature and pressures. So first of all, I would like to give some questions related to the are based on the molarity and the mole fractions. Is it clear? So the first question is that depend upon the are based on the molarity and the mole fraction. The question is given: calculate the molarity and mole fractions. Calculate molarity and mole fraction. Calculate molarity and mole fraction. Molarity and mole fraction of 2.5 gram of ethanoic acid of 2.5 gram of ethanoic acid that is CH3COH ethanoic acid in 75 gram of benzene, in 75 gram of benzene. So question is given, calculate the molarity and mole fractions. First we are going to calculate the molarity. Molarity is expressed by small m. It should be calculated. It is to be calculated. And the given things is that the mole fraction, that is 2.5 gram of ethanoic acid. This is the smaller component of the solution, so which is used as a solute, and the 75 gram of benzene, it is the higher concentration in the solution, so it is considered as the solvent. Solution have the two components, solute and the solvent. The component of solution which is in the lower concentration known as the solute, and which is present into the higher concentration known as solvent. So the given weight of the solute you can write here W is equal to given 2.5 gram, and the capital molarity, that is capital W, weight of solvent is given into 75 gram, and the molar mass of ethanoic acid M, this is CH3COH, this is 2 carbon, this is 2 into 12, 3 and 1 hydrogen, this is 4 plus 1 into 4 plus 2 oxygen, this is 2 into 16, so it becomes 24 plus 4 plus 32. So 2, 4, 6 and 4, 10, 0, 1, 3 to 5 and 6. This is 60. So molar mass of the acetic acid is the 60 gram per. So how do you calculate the molarity? You know that the formula of molarity is that this is small m, molarity is equal to number of moles of solute dissolved in per kg of solvent. So W by m, this is number of mole, into capital W, weight of solvent, into kg for this is 1000. So put the given value in this formula. Small m is equal to, this is W is given 2.5 gram into 1000 upon molar mass, this is 60, into weight of solvent, this is 75. So you can calculate the molarity of the solutions. So calculate yourself. Is it clear? I have give the mode to calculate or solve the questions, and now calculate yourself. What would be the value? Is it clear? Next we are going to calculate the mole fractions. This is next mole fractions. So what is mole fractions? This is X. So moles fraction is the ratio of the number of moles of one component to the ratio of the number of all component of the solution. So there are two things here, solute and solvent. Number of moles, you know that, and acetic acid, this is CH3COH this is number of moles means given mass upon the molar mass. So given mass is given 2.5 and molar mass is the 60. Similarly, the number of moles of the solvent like the benzene, this is NC6S6 is equal to, their mass is given 75 and the molar mass of the benzene, this is C6S6. So this is 12 into 6 plus 6 into 1, this is 72 plus 6 is equal to 78. So it become, molar mass of benzene becomes 78. So these are the number of moles of the solute and the solvent. Now we will calculate here the number of moles of solute like the X of the acetic acid and X of the benzene. So what is formula? Total number of moles is equal to total number of moles, calculate yourself. Total number of moles is equal to, this is NCS3COH plus N, this is C6S6. So you can write here 2.5 upon 60 plus 75 upon 78. Is it clear? So now how do you calculate the mole fractions of one component and the other? This is mole fraction just like X acetic acid CS3COH is equal to, this is number of moles N CS3COH upon N CS3COH plus N C6S6. You can write here number of moles for solvent is capital N. So it should be identified. It is convenient for the differentiating between solute and solvent. You can also write here N. This is solvent, this is solute. Total number of mole is this. This is NC6S6. So now you can put the value XCS3COH is equal to N. Their value is, the value of acetic acid is 2.5 upon 60 upon, this is NCS3COH 2.5 upon 60 plus 75 upon 78. Now calculate yourself. So whatever be the value comes here, so you can find out the XC6S6 is equal to 1 minus XCS3COH. So whatever be value you calculated, they are subtracted by 1, you can calculate, you can find out the mole fractions of the benzene. So calculate yourself. Is it clear? So this method used for the calculations of the mole fractions as well as the molarity. Is it clear? Next question also based on the molarity. Calculate the molarity of solutions containing, next question, calculate molarity of a solution containing solutions containing 5 gram of sodium hydroxide in 450 ml of solution. This is 5 gram of sodium hydroxide in 450 ml solutions. So what is molarity? Molarity is defined as the number of moles of solute dissolved in per liter of solutions. Molarity, mole per liter. Number of moles of solute dissolved in per liter of solution. And mathematically it is expressed as capital N, it expresses molarity is equal to W by M into V into 1000 to convert into liter. So molarity should be calculated here, and W is given, this is weight of the solute 5 gram, and the volume V is given this is 450 ml, and the molar mass of NaOH, this is NaOH. The molar mass of sodium is, atomic mass of sodium is 23 plus 16 plus 1, this is 40. So molar mass of sodium hydroxide is 40. Now put the value in the given formula. Just like W is given here, W is 5 gram into 1000 upon, this is molar mass 40 into volume of solution is given 450 ml. So you can calculate it very easily, just like here 5 8 40, and you can also calculate here 0 0, 5 2 10, and the 5 0 0, and 5 9 45. So it become, this is 20 upon 72, or you can also simplify this to 2 1 2 0, and 2 3 6, 2 6 12, or 2 5 10, 2 1 2, 2 8 16. This is 5 by 18. So 5 by 18, this is 0.02 times 36. This is now 0. 8 times 8 8 64, 4, 8 1 8, and 6 14. 7 times 7 8 56, 5, 7 1 7, and 5 12. So 10, this is 6 4 and 3 1. So ends on 0.277. This is the molarity is 0.277, or you can write the molarity is, capital M is 0.278 m. So this way you can calculate the molarity of the solutions. Is it clear? Next question is given here. A solution contains 25% water, third, a solution contains 25% water, water, 25% ethanol, 25% ethanol, and 50% acetic acid by mass. Acetic acid by mass. Now the question is given, calculate the mole fractions of each component. Calculate mole fractions of each component. So how do you calculate? There are three components is given here. This is the contain water to 25% water, 25% ethanol, and 50% acetic acid by mass. So in 100 gram it is obviously clear what is the mass of the MH2O. This is, or you can write the weight of H2O or mass of H2O, just like here. Mass of H2O in 100 gram, 25% means 25 gram. Mass of ethanol, this is C2H5OH, it is also 25 gram, and the mass of acetic acid, this is CH3COH, is given 50 gram. Out of 100, 25% water, this is 25 gram, 25% ethanol, this is 25 gram, and 50% acetic acid, this is the 50 gram. So how do you calculate the mole fractions? Actually, mole fractions, I have earlier told that this is the ratio of the number of moles of one component to the total number of moles of solutions. So first of all, we would try to find out the number of moles of each component. And how do you calculate the number of moles? So you know that number of moles is equal to given mass upon molar mass. So this is NH2O, number of moles of H2O, NH2O is equal to given mass W by M. This is W is given 25 gram upon molar mass is 18. Is it clear? Similarly, N ethanol. What is the mass of ethanol? Simply N C2H5OH. So C2, this is 2 into 12 carbon plus hydrogen, H5 and 1 hydrogen, this is 6 into 1 plus 1 oxygen, this is 16. So it becomes 24 plus 6 plus 16. This is 6, 6, 12 and 4, 16, 1, 1, 2 and 2, 4. This is 46 gram. The mass of ethanol is 46 gram per mole. So you can calculate here the number of moles is equal to given mass. This is 25 upon molar mass 46 gram per moles. Third one, this third component is given. The mass of acetic acid means given to 50 gram. So N acetic acid CH3COH is equal to, this is 50 upon the molar mass of acetic acid is, this is CH3COH. So carbon, this is 2 into 12 plus 3 and 1, 4 hydrogen. This is 4 into 1 plus 2 oxygen. This is 2 into 16. So it becomes 24 plus 4 plus 32. So 4, 4 is 8 to 10 and 3 to 5, 60 gram per mole. So this is 60 gram per moles. So number of moles we have calculated here on the basis of the given mass in the solutions. So how do you calculate the mole fractions? Just like mole fractions of water, N total number of moles is equal to N H2O plus N C2H5OH and plus N CH3COH. So you can find out the mole fractions of any all the component. Just like mole fractions of XH2O is equal to, this is N H2O, number of moles of one component to the total number of moles of component, NH2O plus N C2H5OH and plus N CH3COH. So the value is given already, you can put and you can find out the mole fractions of the each component. Like the N C2H5, so X C2H5 is equal to, this is N C2H5OH upon total number of moles, N H2O plus N C2H5OH plus N CH3COH. Similarly, you can calculate the mole fractions of acetic acids. Is it clear? So try to solve the other questions given into the NCERT book, and next we will discuss about the solubility. What is the means of solubility, and what is the effect of the solute, and what is the effect on the solubility of the nature of solute, solvent, temperature and pressures. Next one, solubility. This is solubility. Actually, solubility means solubility of a substance in a given solvent. Is its maximum extent of the solute dissolved in the given solvent. This is the solubility. Solubility may be defined as the amount of substance dissolved. Maximum amount of substance dissolved in a given amount of the solvent at constant temperature and pressure is called the solubility. Is it clear? So solubility, in this section we will discuss about the solubility of solid into the liquid. This is solubility is its maximum amount of solute is the maximum amount of solute dissolved in maximum amount of solute dissolved in the given solvent, or you can say this is amount of solvent dissolved in a specific or you can say specified amount of the solvent, specified amount of solvent at a specified temperatures, at a specified temperature, means constant temperatures. This is the maximum amount of the solute dissolved in a specified amount of solvent at specified temperature is called the solubility. So in this sections we will discuss about the solubility of solid into liquid, solubility of solid into liquid. This is solid liquid solubility, and solubility of gas into liquids. Gas into liquid. Is it clear? So first of all we will discuss about the solubility of solid into liquids. Solubility of solid into liquids. How do you show that? Solubility of solid into liquid. So we will also discuss about the factor affecting the solubility of solid into liquid as well as the gas into the liquid. So solubility depend upon the following factor. Upon the following factor. This is first one, nature of solute, nature of solute, nature of solvent, nature of solvent. Third one, temperature, and fourth one, pressures. Temperature and pressures. So first of all we'll discuss about the solubility of solid into liquid. First we are considering about the nature of solute and solvent. Actually there are two nature of the solute and solvent. One is the ionic solute, just like sodium chloride, potassium chloride, sodium nitrate, etc. This is the polar solute. Polar means or you can ionic solutes. And the non-ionic, just like the organic compound like the benzene, ether, naphthalene, anthracene, etc. These are the non-ionic, means they are not ionized into the cation and anion. So there are two types of the solute here, nature of the solute. And the solvent is also have the two natures. This is polar solvent and the non-polar solvent. Polar solvent just like water, which can be dissociated into the H plus and OH minus, or which are polarized to each others, are having dissociated to each other into cation and anion. However, the non-polar solvent, just like the organic compound is the non-polar solvent, just like benzene, ether, carbon tetrachloride, alcohol, etc. These are the non-polar solvent. So one thing is very clear that Try to understand. Just like sodium chloride dissolve in water, it is soluble. Why? Because the sodium chloride, this is the nature of solute. Sodium chloride NaCl having the plus and this is minus, and H2O having HOH, this is OH minus and H plus. So like charges, like nature of the substance always soluble to each other, or you can say that the similar force of interactions or similar nature of interactions are always soluble to each other. Sodium chloride also ionic nature, water is also ionic nature, high dielectric constant, more polar. Whereas just like we are taking anthracene as a anthracene, phenolphthalein, etc. These are not soluble into the water. Why? Because these are the anthracene, or you can say this is the naphthalene or naphthalene, phenolphthalein, etc. These are the organic compound and these are non-polar in nature, means they are not dissociated into the positive and negative. However, water is the polar in nature. So I have told to you, solubility also depend upon the nature of the interactions between the two things. Similar interactions, similar kinds of the nature always soluble to each other, means like soluble into the like, polar always soluble into polar, non-polar always soluble into the non-polar. So these are the non-polar substance, and it is insoluble into the water because water is the polar. But these organic compounds soluble in benzene. Why? Because benzene C6H6, this is also the non-polar. So non-polar soluble to each others. Is it clear? Non-polar soluble to each other. Polar soluble into the polar solvent. So these are the solubilities depend upon the nature of the solute and solvent. If the solute nature is polar, so it always soluble into the polar solvent, insoluble in non-polar solvent. And non-polar is always soluble in non-polar. It does not soluble into the polar solvent. So you can say that, or we may say that like dissolve in like. We can say that like dissolve in like means same nature of the solute and solvent also always polar soluble into the each other. Is it clear that? And we are coming on the another things. You are very familiar to the saturated and the unsaturated solution. You know that saturated means no more quantity of solute can be dissolved into the solvent into the solution at a particular temperature, at a constant temperature. Means all the parts of the space of the solvent is occupied by the solute particle. No more quantity can be dissolved into the solution at a specified temperature. This is called the saturated solution. And unsaturated means more quantity of solute dissolved at the same temperature, it is unsaturated. So you know that when the solutes are dissolved into the solvent, it becomes solution. So earlier or initially the solubility increases. This is called dissolution. Just like in a this is solvent you are adding here with the help of the glass rod, just like sugar pearl. This is water and this is sugar particles as a solute. When you are adding this, and initially it is soluble into the water, but at a time their solubility does not take place in the solution. At the time this solution is known as the saturated solution. Now they are coagulated, or you can say that collide with the solute particle and become crystallizes. After some times it become separate out, crystallizes, and an equilibrium exists between the dissolved particle of the solute and undissolved particle in the solutions. Dissolved particles of the solute and undissolved particle in the solution means the rate of the dissolution, this is called the crystallizations. So the rate of dissolutions is equal to rate of crystallizations. So at this state, the concentrations of the dissolved particle and undissolved particle is equal in the solution. So at this stage, an equilibrium exists between, this is solute plus solvent to form the solutions here. Now we can show the effect of temperature to these equations. On this basis, the equilibrium exists between the reactant and the solutions particle. How would you explain the factor affecting the temperature in this case? Actually, according to the Le Chatelier principles, what is the Le Chatelier principles? You know that at equilibrium, the change in any parameter like temperature, pressure, concentrations, etc., the reactions itself move in those directions where the effect have been stressed out. Means whatever you have to change, reaction itself undo the process and again exist into the equilibrium form. Means it does not try to disturb the equilibrium positions. So it can be explained on the basis of the temperature, Le Chatelier principle. There are two ways. Just like here, delta H value is equal to positive. Means in positive, then this is endothermic reactions. Another value may be delta H is equal to maybe negative. This is exothermic process. If the formations of solution and equilibrium, if the heat energy is positive, means delta H is positive, it means this is the endothermic process reactions. And when heat is releases already evolved, this is exothermic process. So when delta H is positive, it means temperature required for the more formations of solution. So these are the effect of the temperature on the solubility of solid into the liquid. And now the effect of pressure. Actually, there is no effect of pressure on the solubility of solid into the liquid. Why? It is because solid and liquid are highly incompressible. So whenever you are increasing the pressure, there is no effect on the compressibility of the solid and the liquid. So there is no effect. Their effect is found in the case of the gases when dissolved into the liquid. We will discuss in the terms of the Henry law, that is the solubility of the gas into liquid. So next time we will discuss about the solubility of gas into the liquid as well as the vapor pressure and the Raoult's law. So now you try to solve the questions based on the molarity, mole fractions, ppm, etc., which is given in the NCERT book. Thank you.